and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is something I've subconsciously wanted to make a video about, but I guess I didn't know what the right time would be, or really if anyone would like watch or care. Originally I had it all planned out. I was going to do a video about the also Disney Channel special, non-Halloween related Whodunit. Done it. I don't know why I assumed it was like a Halloween thing or like something that went along with Monstober, because I knew it was like a separate event, but I thought it happened maybe the month before Halloween, August, closer to Halloween, November, who knows? I didn't think it was in like April. You know what? Maybe it had to do with April Fool's Day. Although I think it aired like April 20th or something.
Starting Friday, April 13th.
So it really probably didn't have to do with that. Anyway, but the process of researching this made me realize I should probably make a video about Monstober. That would be more fitting. And that's still on my list of videos, by the way. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but if this gets traction and you guys really want to see it, I will do it as soon as possible. Like, Monstober really changed lives, okay? It was kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime event. You had to be there to really understand what was going down. And there will never be anything like it again. It was kind of like my multiverse madness at 7 years old. They were all having Halloween at the same time in all these episodes. It was like they were in the same universe or something. Well, that is until 2015 when they made that one episode where they all go to the same Halloween party.
But we'll talk about that later.
In preparation for this video, I decided to see, does Disney do Monstober still? I would like to know. I found something possibly much worse. They do Monstober, but it is not called Monstober. It's called Calling All the Monsters. They basically just stole the name from their like hit single, which was made during 2011, Monstober, and renamed the special event. It feels so lazy, like, I'm sorry. I don't know when they did this either, because it's kind of scarce information researching about Monstober. Most of the information is from, you know, Monstober itself, and then when it was called Haunt Fest, we'll get into it later, and Wiztober. They did Monstober in preparation for Girl Meets World, which, Girl Meets World? I meant Girl vs. Monster, which is a Disney Channel original Halloween movie that came out in 2012, which I really want to rewatch now because I made this video. But there was a lot of scarce information about why even Monstober stopped. I have no idea. But Monstober was a pre-preparation for Girl vs. Monster, because Girl vs. Monster came out in 2012 and they started using Monstober in 2011 to prepare. The whole time I didn't even know it was named that because of Girl vs. Monster, so I feel like it's pretty like neutral, I guess, compared to like Calling All the Monsters. It's like you think of the song because they have a song called Calling All the Monsters. Anyway, let's get into the video. So Monstober actually started off in 2005 as Hauntober Fest, an annual night of like Halloween movies and stuff, similar to what Monstober is or became to be. This ended up giving us classics such as Halloween Town, Twitches, The Haunted Mansion, and an honorable mention, Girl vs. Monster, because like I literally grew up with that movie. I'm sorry. Maybe it's not as a classic as the ones I mentioned before, but I have to mention it. They also did Invisible Sister in 2015, but I've never seen that. Hauntoberfest actually gave us Wizards of Waverly Place 2, which is celebrating its 15th anniversary the day I'm filming this, which is objectively one of the best Disney Channel shows of all time, whether you like it or not. So in honor of its debut in 2007, the following year in 2008, they renamed the Hauntoberfest to Wiztober.
This October on Disney Channel, everything is not what it seems.
Because October is being transformed into
Wiztober! All hosted by us, the cast of Wizards of Waverly Place.
In which they also aired a two-part Wizards of Waverly Place special. When researching for about 2009 to 2011, the information got really scarce. A lot of it was just lost to time, and there wasn't a lot of information unless it was stuff that I just remembered from like watching it. But 2011 was actually when Monstober debuted, as I said before, for a pre-promotional of Girl vs. Monster. However, we do know that Monstober 2011 gave us the hit single Calling All the Monsters, which is one of the best Halloween songs
Ever.
which was actually re-released and like re-recorded in 2021, and I haven't even listened to it, I don't think, but all I can say is you can't outdo the original. I honestly made this video mostly to talk about 2012 to 2013 because that was like the prime time of Monstober. I mean, 2011 too, but like...
The prime time of Monstober!
I'm probably biased, but that is when I grew up with Monstober. I mean, I was there in 2011 too, as I said, but like...
Hi, so I was born in 2005. I more so meant like when I watched these older Halloween events on Disney Channel. I don't remember anything because I literally wasn't conscious.
2012 was the year Girl vs. Monster premiered, which inspired the Halloween name Monstober, as I said before. It also aired Halloween specials such as Jessie's The Whining.
Here's Jessie!
Beware, elevators full of blood, knife-wielding maniacs, and twins!
Which had me terrified that Jessie was like gonna kill the kids. Like, I remember being so invested and I was like, what is... Because there's that scene where she's like,
Here's Jessie!
you know, the whining, it's a pun, shining. And there's like that scene where like the blood is shooting out the hallway. Gravity Falls aired Summerween, which is such like a creative way of doing a Halloween special for a show that's, you know, it's taking place in the summertime the entirety of the show. And speaking of that, from what I could find, Phineas and Ferb did not have a Halloween special this year. But they've made several and we'll talk about them. But they end up having 2 specials the following year, so maybe there was a reason for that, I'm not sure. Anyway, Good Luck Charlie had Lee Halloween. Austin and Ally had Costumes and Courage. Dog with a Blog premiered, which I never realized how many shows were like made for Monstober. I mean, not that Dog with a Blog is, but like it kind of fits the agenda with like a talking dog.
Fucking food! I'm drooling a pool over here!
Did he just talk?
Wolf.
Fishhooks had Hair and Back, Milo's Pony, which I want to make a video about Fishhooks so bad. Like, I think I want to do a in-depth, like, lore video, just because I feel like it's such an underrated, like, classic. And lastly, Shake It Up's Burn It Up. You know, the one where Cece thought she, like, burned down the Shake It Up Chicago studio, and she was convinced she was gonna go to jail. And, of course, Ant Farm Mute Ant 2. I thought that was, like, a given because I talked about Mute Ant 1, which was where Calling All the Monsters happened. I think they have another song in this one. Continuing on to 2013, still called Monstober, all the promotionals and commercials for this one are really special because guess who's hosting? Kayla Morthy and Rainy Rodriguez.
Monstober. It's Halloween all month long.
That's how you know it's gonna be good.
This was mostly the reason I made the video. I remember them hosting and it genuinely made like the whole vibe so much better.
Thank you. They're new. Thought I'd jazz up the old alien costume a bit. It's a Monstober Saturday night, you know.
Oh, I know. And your bling isn't the only thing that's new.
It isn't?
There's a whole night of spooky new shows.
Oh, that's right. A monstrous Saturday night of premieres starts now.
They're also dressed as Zalians, which, if you don't remember, we were introduced to them the year prior in Season 1, Episode 4 of Austin and Ally, Zalians and Cloud Watchers. The first thing they premiered this year was a series called Wolfblood from BBC. It only ran for like 2 seasons, and this honestly wasn't memorable. I am only writing it down because I thought it was really weird that I don't remember it. Like, I remember everything else that aired during this year, but I don't remember that. They also aired Mute Ant Farm 3, which I guess they just like could not find another pun for Halloween. They just kept using the same title. And Dog with a Blog aired Halloween. And the Mickey Mouse cartoon aired a Halloween short, which I've seen a lot of like memes and stuff.
사랑해, 미키. 사랑해요, 미키.
사랑합니다.
People talking about how underrated the Mickey Mouse cartoon was, or this specific Mickey Mouse cartoon. I thought it was like a series, but I looked it up and I think it was just a series of shorts. But I really like the art style in this one. I know I did when I was little and like this was airing. It always was like a standout to me. And the dialogue was always so funny, like the facial expressions and like the humor, and I don't know, I just think it's really funny. And I'm glad it's like resurfacing and people are talking about how underrated it is. And Wander Over Yonder even had a Halloween special, which I also think is another like criminally underrated show. I think it only had like 2 seasons, but I remember I really loved it, and then one day it just disappeared and I never knew what happened to it. Phineas and Ferb aired 2 Halloween specials, which I think makes sense because I couldn't find one for 2012. Those being Dressel-Steno-Ween and the terrifying Tri-State Trilogy of Terror. Jessie aired Ghost Bummers. They aired Fright Night for Good Luck Charlie. And Liv and Maddie had also recently premiered, so they also aired Kangaroony, Haunted Up for Shake It Up. I was looking at like the schedule I found online, so in case I forgot anything, and I guess they did air a 3rd Phineas and Ferb special called Face Your Fear. They also aired some Gravity Falls shorts, The Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained, if you guys remember that. And they did a Toy Story thing. It's called Toy Story of Terror. I very vaguely remember watching this, although I don't remember what happens.
I'm going to tell you.
So the Toy Story gang, they take a road trip, and it takes an unexpected turn for the worse when the trip detours to a roadside motel. After one of the toys goes missing, the others find themselves caught up in a mystery sequence of events that must be solved before they suffer the same fate. Now we're at 2014, which was the first year Monstober you started to see some like distinct changes, I guess. The graphics changed to this spiderweb type thing, and there was no Halloween special movies made, but there also wasn't a Halloween special movie made in 2013. 2014 had nothing really happening, let's be honest, but why am I talking about it? Well, they did a Spider-Man Jesse crossover? I'm not a Marvel person, I've always been a DC person, and I've probably only seen like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I had to put this in here because what?
Sorry, museum rules are pretty clear. No destroying the children.
Are you the real Spider-Man?
In the flesh.
How do we know you're for real? It is Halloween after all.
Speaking of Halloween, you couldn't have gone as a ghost or something?
Scared you, didn't I?
What in the multiverse madness is going on here?
Comment down below if you remember watching this, because I never watched it, but I think this is so funny. Like, how random. Now to more interesting things. 2015 was where we got the multiverse madness of the Disney Channel. That did not include Spider-Man in the Jessie cast.
Hi, I'm a liar. It included the Jessie cast.
Now, Disney Channel this year for their Halloween specials did this giant crossover between a ton of shows. All the characters of the shows that were airing at this point of time went to a giant Halloween party. They met each other, and there was a masked hooded man at the party.
How is this mysterious masked man involved in?
You're supposed to care about that, and that's supposed to be scary. I don't remember actually what happens, and I don't really care to find out. Anyways, the shows included Girl Meets World, I Didn't Do It, Austin and Ally, Jessie, like Trish and Des guest starred on I Didn't Do It, while Austin and Ally were on Girl Meets World, and so on for like each series. And you didn't necessarily need to watch all of these shows to like be tuned in with the plot of this either. Like, it was just like they were random people at a party that just happened to end up befriending the cast at the party.
On a monstrous new Girl Meets World, a masked man is running wild to the Central Park Spooktacular.
Like, say you didn't care about Best Friends Whenever, which I think was another show that actually was included in this. I just forgot to write it in my script. Well, you could still skip out on that one and probably be immersed in the plot still. 2015 was the year they also aired Invisible Sister, which is a Halloween movie. It's about two sisters named Cleo and Molly. Cleo's science project goes disastrously wrong, causing her popular older sister Molly to suddenly become invisible. Now we've reached 2016, which was unfortunately the last year of Monstober. After that, they kind of just switched to, they still did like a Halloween annual event, but they didn't really have a name for it, and they would air like simple Halloween graphics without a name to it, I guess. The weird thing is I actually found out in some other countries I don't know if it's still like this, but in other countries besides the US, they would continue to call it Monstober even after the US had stopped. So I wonder like what the cause for the name change was. I would understand the change if like they made another movie and wanted to like do a name with it, but they couldn't really do that for Invisible Sister because like, what are you gonna call it? Invisible-tober? I don't really know what's up with that. But yeah, that's basically the history of Monstober, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, I really have like appreciated these types of holiday specials. Like, they did this for Christmas too, I'm pretty sure, and I've always thought they were really fun, and they really kept me engaged with like the shows I was watching. Like, You Need Me There at 8/7 Central. Oh, I would be there. It's just genius. I mean, I have to admit. But yeah, comment what your favorite Disney Channel original Halloween movie was, or like if you specifically remember an episode from Monstober scaring you, let me know what it was. Mine was definitely the whining. And I will see you guys in my very next video.